Hello and welcome, or welcome back to my channel. I really hope you're all well. Today, you know by the title, we're just going to get into it. We are going through my 2024 reading journal setup. So I have my reading journal right here. It's a Tabitha Wild is what it says on the back. I have no idea, it's just this pink like hardcover. It's really lovely actually. Ignore my tabs at the top, I will explain. It has one of these like little, you know, things that you put over, but I'm leaving that off for now because of the tabs. And it also has two little drawstring bits. So we are going to do an overview of how I've set this up and explain all my designs. Every design that I have in here is not my own. I've basically copied a load of stuff from either Pinterest or Rachel Catherine's version of this video that she did last year. So none of these designs are my own, just putting that out there now. I have copied from other people, but that's fine, I'm not selling it, it's just for my own personal use. So without any further ado, we're going to get into the overview. I'm going to give you a quick flip through first, and then I will do a more in-depth talk through afterwards. Okay, so we're just starting with the overall flip through, so I won't say anything for this first time. We will just go through page by page and you can see a quick version of what my bullet journal contains if that's all you're here for. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit more in depth. There's not too much to say about each of these pages, so it will be quite quick, but this is just my title page. So basically I've got like a bit of a enchanted woodland animal with mushroom theme, you'll see throughout the video. So we've got the bunny with the mushroom sort of hat thing, we've got the fairy rat on a mushroom, and then I basically just added the year and then cut out along the edge. So I stuck the first two pages of this together so that it was thicker, because they were thicker pages with lines and I didn't want lines, so I designed that. Then we just have my reading goals for the year. So I've got some simple line art of flowers around the edge, and then my goals are just to use the library more, research books more before I buy them, so I buy ones I really want and don't overbuy just sort of for the sake of it, which I need to start putting into practice because I haven't yet, and I've recently just bought a load of books, so that's not great. But this is for the new year, so that's my excuse. Read a wider variety of genres, so like less romance overall, because normally I mainly read romance and then a few other genres. I want it to kind of at least be a bit more evenly spread. Finish some series if I can, all of them, but I don't think I'm going to get there. Read all top 24 books on my 24 books to be read in 2024 page, so the priority TBR almost. And then buy less books less often and try to keep my physical TBR to 50 or less, which that's going to take a lot of doing given the state that it's at the moment. Then this is my sort of like tracker page, so I still have yet to come up with a goal of how many books I want to aim for. Like, I want to make it high enough that it spurs me on to read enough, but I also don't want it to be too unrealistic or something that's going to stress me out. Like, I like it to be more easily achievable so that I can go over. But this is just boxes of numbers, so every time that I've read a book I will colour in a box, and then so on and so forth. I'm not anticipating reading 150 books, but that was just all the space that I had. And then we've just got this like fairy bunny on a mushroom kind of thing again. Again, the same recurring design theme, because that's just what I chose and went for. So we've got monthly tracker here, so it's however many books I read per month, and then I've got up to however many days of the month there is, because I'm never going to read more than one book every day, so I'm safe with this. And then this is my genre tracker, so I've got all my different genres here, so romance, mystery, murder mystery, thriller, horror, fantasy, classic, literary fiction, historical fiction. I know I'm not going to read all of those, but I just put them so I've got them there. And then I have up to 30, but if I go past that then I'll just write like 31, 32, however many up there. Then this is my reading log, so it's got the number of the book that I read so that I can do it in order. So then I put the title, the author, and then how many stars I gave it out of 5. And again, this goes up to 102. Then here we have book bingo, so every time that I read one of these specific things, then I will be able to cross it off, and then it'll be interesting to see if I can fill the whole thing out, if I can get a row, if I can get like a diagonal, whatever. They're just things like a book with you in the title, a fantasy book, 3-word title, a book with flowers on the cover, fake dating, just different tropes and things like that. And then I've just put these like flowers around the edge of the page. Then here we have my 24 books to be read in 2024 page. So these are all the 24 books that I personally want to try and prioritise reading next year. So yeah, I will have gone through this in another video, so I'll try and leave it linked on my channel. If not, you can go back and watch that one, and they're all on there, but this is just the page design spread that I came up with for that. Then we have A to Z here, so I'm going to just write like, you know, whatever book I read that begins with H, I'll write that in, and then all the other letters of the alphabet, etc, etc, for A to Z, so that hopefully I can see how many I get round to in the new year. So it'll be interesting to see how many start with the same letter. I feel like a lot are going to start with T, but obviously I'll just put the first one that I read with that letter in. I'm not going to add all the others. And then this page here is just for me. This is one that I came up with myself, so it's all the books that I got in my book advent calendar from my friend, so up to 24th, and then there was a couple of extras that she gave me, so I've written all of the books that I received and on which specific day, and then I'm going to tick them off as I go through and read each of them. And it's going to be quite interesting to see by the end of 2024, in a year's time, how many of them I will have got round to. Then here we've just got my author's backlists, so we've got Lauren Asher, Elsie Silver, Emily Henry, Frida McFadden, Stephanie Garber, Riley Sager, Alice Feeney, Karen McManus, Jennifer Lynn Barnes and Emily McIntyre. And then as you can see, I'm just highlighting off the boxes, colouring them in when I've read them, and that's going to be quite pleasing to see when I've read an author's entire backlists. And then again we've got the same thing here with a series tracker, so we've got Lancaster Prep, The Edens, Brutal Birthright, Truly Devious, Red Rising, Thursday Murder Club, Cottonwood Cove, Off to the Races, Chestnut Springs, Entangled with Faye, Caravel, Once Upon a Broken Heart, Shadow and Bone, Six of Crows, Renegades, Throne of Glass, Red Zone Rivals, Hades and Persephone, If Love, Briar You, Magnolia Park's Universe, Tattered and Torn, King of Scars, Crowns of Neaxia and Beyond the Play. So I don't own all these, and I'm not intending to start all of them, but just in case I've got, because some of them like I have some books for and I do really want to get to. So yeah, we'll see. That's all just there kind of to fill the space basically. Then we just have like a little breaker page where it's just like an illustration, so it says I'd rather be reading, with a like bunny bumblebee type thing sat on a flower. Again, kind of fits the theme that I was going for. Here we have my Kindle library, so I haven't fully filled all of this out yet, but these are the only Kindle books that I've bought that I still have yet to read, which is pretty good. So Bully, Indigo Ridge, Juniper Hill and Garnet Flats, they're the only ones that I've bought to date. And then obviously I have like prime reading ones, but the prime reading ones I'll write them in once I've read them, because often I get a bit bored and see other books and swap them out, so I don't want to write them all in if I won't get to them all. Then here we've got another sort of breaker page where it's just an illustration. It just says one more chapter. This is just a frog on some toadstools. And then here we have favourite books of the year. So for each month I'm going to write what my favourite book of that month was. And then we have book to TV and film adaptations. So I actually think I came up with this design myself, this idea. Basically what I'm going to do is, when I know there's going to be an adaptation, I'm going to write it in, and then once I've watched it I will colour it in. And I just thought the film reel strips were quite a cool idea to use as boxes for that. Then we have my 2024 new releases page. So I was running out of space, so my plan was originally just to do it these mushroom styles, so I would write one in the top and then one in the stalk, but then I ran out of space, so I had to keep adding these blobs, and then once I have the new release or whatever I can cover it in. So this is just a lot of new releases, but that will be in another video as well. And then this is my favourite book bracket. So where a couple of pages ago we had my favourite book of each month, this is essentially the same thing. So I'll write my favourite book of January, February, etc. But then they pair off and I see which one I prefer until I find eventually my favourite book of the year overall. Then we've got some monthly statistics. So I've got the boxes for each month along the top, so January through to December, and then I've just got different categories. So total books read each month, total pages, physical books, Kindle reads, audiobooks, library books, and the current TBR count at the end of each month. So yeah, I'll fill this in as I go, and obviously each row is a different colour. And I thought that was quite cool. And then here we have my entire physical TBR. So we've got every single book which is on my shelf, which is a lot now. All the highlighted ones are ones which I've read. And I quite like the way that I cut this page so that it's quite interestingly done like that. And then I still have a bit of space left. And then finally, this is what all the little sticky tabs are for. So I'm doing like monthly page headers, so like a monthly title page kind of thing. So I haven't done them all yet. I was going to put this video off until I had, but I'm running out of time. So this is my January title page. So I've planned it out. The reason why there's sticky tabs is because each one is going to have like 11 or 12 pages, because I'm never going to read more than 12 books a month, I don't think. So I've spread it out perfectly evenly that it will use all the pages in my book. So the ones which I have done so far are January, April, there, and I believe then it's just October, November and December. So yeah, and then each of these pages afterwards in between are going to be for all the books in December. For example, I would write whatever number it was, what it was, and write my little review and stars and everything that I think about it. And then that will be my little review section. Overall, I'm really pleased and proud of how I have set it up. I really hope you enjoy the designs. And yeah, that is the overview of my reading journal setup for 2024. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed that video and getting a sneak peek into how I've set up my reading journal for next year. If you did like this video, then please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff that you guys know how to do. Remember to turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And yes, hopefully I'll see you in another video very soon.